Hi guys, can the guys at the last hear me? Awesome. So, awesome. So, my name is Aditya and I'm representing the Yostra Labs Private Limited. So, today I'll speak about the project that we are working on and yeah. So, how many of you have been hospitalized before this? Sorry that I have to ask this, but I want to know to really connect with everyone, right? Okay. So, at least 50% here, and it's the same across in any community. So, 85% of the people who are hospitalized undergo infusion therapy, and we all know that. Infusion therapy is, I'll come to that in the next slide. It's basically a doctor prescribes medicine in flow rate in milliliters per hour, and the nurse converts into drops per minute and sets a particular flow rate for you, and then she ensures that it is changed at a regular intervals. So what happens if there is an unintended change in the drip rate, right? And what happens if the bottle is completely empty and if she doesn't change it? So these are the possible complications that could occur because of this, and it could happen to any of us, right? 1 in 10, 1 in 100, any one of us. So we are all vulnerable to these complications: infiltration, extravasation, thrombophlebitis. So I'll not get into the details of this due to the short span of time. But if you guys have any of questions related to this, I'll take it in the Q&A. So what happens to a hospital because of these is they could get into serious legal issues which can cost them a bomb, or it could be a huge loss of goodwill. On the other side, for a patient, they go for a specific treatment, but they end up having a different complications which was not intended completely. So what happens in a regular setup is a nurse has to visit the patient every 30 minutes and check if the drip rate is right, and if it is not, she has to readjust it and continuously change the bottle at regular intervals. So this actually takes 75% of a nurse's time. So when I mean 75%, it's literally 75%. So if a nurse has to be hired by a hospital and she's spending 75% of her time doing just this, you can imagine the cost that is incurred per bed, that is again falls under the patient. And again, since the cost of this itself is huge, it leads to shortage of nurses. So the nurses are cut down, and one nurse takes care of 15 patients. I'm talking about resource-constrained settings, right? And there are cases where we've seen one nurse handles 30 patients, as big as 30. And when you go to some of these government hospitals and talk to them, so how do you manage these? They say, I can handle this entire ward. And how many people are there in the ward? 50 people. They're all undergoing IV therapy, right? So what if we could give an alert when there is need for a bottle change, just before there is a need for a bottle change? What if we can alert the nurse that the drip rate has gone wrong? Let's say a baby is getting drips, and the drip rate is set up for 33 and 33 drops per minute, and let's say there is some malfunction with the setup and it goes to 100. So there's serious complications that could occur to any of us, right? And what if we could alert the nurse immediately if there is any changes in the drip rate? So with this, having done deep ground research, we've come up with DripCheck, which is a patent pending infusion monitoring device, which exactly caters to this gap. So what are the features that DripCheck provides? Is quick and accurate setup, so a nurse doesn't have to spend so much time in setting it up, and it monitors drip rate and notifies them whenever it is necessary, and it also predicts when the bottle gets empty well before in advance, which is needed. They don't want it after the bottle is empty because they have to run to that place. So what is in it for the hospital? The hospital can save up to 2 lakhs per year just by introducing this technology into their wards. So this has a potential impact of touching 85% of the population who are hospitalized. And most of the hacks, when I mean by hacks, it's a different hack, not hack that we are using here in a general maker space. Hack is hospital-acquired infections, and the ones that I mentioned earlier, things like air entering your body or fluid going outside your vein and into your bloodstream, which is not intended to, right? So things like that. So we have several doctors who have said that this sort of technology, if it comes to the wards, it has a tremendous impact. So how are we going about this? So we plan to straightforward go to the hospitals and sell it through our channels. And the market size is 250 crores in India, and abroad it's 1.2 to 1.5 crores. And the social impact here is the old people, when you look at them, so usually they tend to reduce the cost. Whatever cost that they have, they tend to reduce in terms of the old population, right? So how do we reduce the cost for them and reduce the hospitalization for such population? In terms of diarrhea for children, it's one of the biggest problems, and drip rate in that segment is a very critical factor and that's one of the common diseases for children. So chemotherapy for cancer patients they have continuous IVs going on, and some of your family members or relatives must have gone through it, and it's a very painful process. Natural calamities. So this device is very portable, and that way it's able to reach the remote locations which another device cannot do, where this is battery operated. So our team consists of Vinayak, who's right there at the back. He's got amazing background with both management and engineering. Comes with 14 years of experience. Our scientist and doctor, who's also an electronics guy, guides us on the direction of clinical front. And we have Ramohan, who's the CFO and the electronics guy. So our team is completely interdisciplinary, where one person can handle multiple things. And he is an investment banker as well. Myself, Aditya, product developer, and I interact with the clinicians. And we have a doctor from HCG, Cancer Care Center, who's one of our mentors. And we are part of Morpheus Camp, which is an accelerator supporting startups across India, and a community of 200 entrepreneurs who are part of this. Next, please. Our next product. So our next product is in the space of diabetes. I'll not get into the details of it. If anyone is interested to know more about this, feel free to reach out to us. It's in the diabetic food care therapy. Just wanted to briefly touch upon that. This is the last slide. So what I'm trying to say, the whole summary is, infusion monitoring in India is one of the gaps that we have taken. And there are several such gaps which each of us can take up and work on. Right? And the potential of sensors, we are using optical sensors, you might use some other sensors. The potential of sensors is tremendous. How part of Sriram mentioned it earlier, how you use it matters. And the social impact that it can create, sensors for good, right? It is tremendous. So why wait until somebody comes to us? Just start it today and see what is the potential. With that, I want to end my conversation with you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And that's my contact details. Anything related to business, feel free to reach out to Vinayak. And I'm around throughout the day. We can catch up. Any questions?